All right, we are now joined by Cal student athletes Dalayah Daniels and Leilani McIntosh and head coach Charmin Smith. Charmin, I'll invite you to start with an opening statement, and then we'll open it up to everyone for questions.
Thank you very much. Just happy to be back in person and see all of you. Thank you for showing up. I know it's a big commitment from you all. Excited about these young women here and the women on our team working extremely hard. In a much better place than we were this time last year, and excited to get started.
Is it me? Hi, Charmin.
Hello.
What does it mean specifically in a much better place than you were last year at this time? What looks better?
Well, I mean, I could start with not practicing on tennis courts, outdoor tennis courts with portable baskets. We've got people back healthy that were out last year. Kylan Crocker, Jazzy Green, Alma Elsnitz, are all in practice and practicing with us, going, full court and everything. So I think those are the most significant pieces that make us in a much better place than last year.
Last year was rough, obviously, in terms of record. We had talked about how some people feel like the second season as a head coach is even tougher than the first. I'm wondering, now that you've settled in and it's your third season, what do you like about your team? What does your team do well, or you think they have potential to do well this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, wow, that second season for most head coaches, I don't know that it includes a global pandemic, so it was a lot, and I think I'm really proud of how our team stayed connected, stayed together, and made it through really tough times. And I think that's going to help us as we move forward with this current season. I'm proud of how resilient we are. I'm proud of the way that we accept challenges and we don't back down and we don't make excuses. And I'm really looking forward to us, being in a situation where we can show our full potential and, they can really display their talent because they've worked extremely hard.
Hi, ladies. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Leilani, with what this group went through just to put a team on the court, many days, many games, bringing in players mid-season, and just everything you went through, how much has that helped going into this season? I mean, you can get through anything as a group, or so it seems from my perspective.
Yeah, I think the whole pandemic just brought us closer together. We were a very young team, and we didn't have those 8 weeks along with other teams that didn't have it. So I think just that quarantining and us being in that isolated area just brought us closer together on and off the court.
And to see how Charmin handled it day after day, again, she just had a question about second year, but it was a juggling act just to get enough people to practice. How much did you see her lead this group in ways you never would have envisioned?
Yeah, Charmin's very willing. She never asks us to do anything that she doesn't think that we're capable of. And I think just through that pandemic, we had these conversations of we could opt out and be that team that just gives up, or we can fight through this season. And I think I was a big advocate for staying with it. I know we were young, but I felt like we needed it, and I think that's going to better prepare us for the season.
Hey, Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. Question for both the players, because you guys just talk about what aspects of your game you guys are most kind of focused on this offseason to get ready for this year.
Can you repeat that last part? Sorry.
Oh, just talk about what areas. It's tough to interview through the mask sometimes on the mic. Yeah. Just what aspects of your game have you guys most worked on, focused on to get ready for this year? Is there a certain aspect of your game that you guys are most kind of focused on this offseason?
Yeah, so I think, obviously if you watched us last year, I think for me, coming in, I was pretty versatile. I was kind of playing everywhere, but I think it's going to be a lot easier on me this year just because I'm going to be able to kind of play more at the stretch four, and I'm going to be able to have, a more simple role. So, yeah, I think I've just also been working on, my shot. I think being able to, extend the defense out is going to help our offense a lot. Also just like becoming more of a leader, trying to be more vocal on the court during practice. I'm only a sophomore, but I know that's going to help me in the future and our team in the long run.
I would say just being a consistent three-level scorer. My freshman year, it was tough scoring as the game does speed up from high school to college. I think I dedicated a lot of my time to fixing like my shot and like the speed of it. I think once I'm able to consistently knock down those three levels of scoring, I'll be able to open it up a little bit more.
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Network's play-by-play voice. I tell you what, I'm so impressed with you ladies and what you persevered through last season. It was touch and go there if you were actually even going to play games against Arizona and Arizona State. And I know my partner Joan Bomasini and I were so grateful to see you show up and ball out. It was amazing. Through all the adversity, what is surviving last season going to help you compete for a Pac-12 title this season for all three of you?
Yeah, I think last year I like to say it was honestly a blessing in disguise in some ways. I think, not too many freshmen get 2 freshman years, basically. I think last year we're definitely going to use that to our advantage, everything that we've used. We have a lot of new pieces on our team, a lot of people coming back, and I just think using a lot of the knowledge and a lot of the coaching that we've been having, it's definitely going to play to our advantage this year. We have a great coaching staff behind us, and I know that they're pushing us in the right direction. We're just ready to get some wins.
I just want to say, like, the experience in general. I know it wasn't, like, a full season that we would have had, but it was still games where the 6 of our freshmen could, like, witness how college basketball is, and I think that really helps us just getting those games under our belt.
We just have to be extremely competitive. And when you take the beatings that we took, in terms of the number of wins last year, it makes you hungry, and we're fired up. And we want to beat up on some other people, And I'm excited to get out there with this group. And as you mentioned, we've been through so much, being down in a game, we can fight back from that. We've had times with this team where we have come back from deficits. We've had times with this team where we've been limited. Foul trouble, what's that? We only had 6, 7 people last year. So those types of things, I think, will play to our advantage, where I just feel like, knock on wood, nothing compares to that. And, so we can just be really positive in whatever adversity we face this year, knowing we've been through the toughest time, hopefully, that we'll ever have.
Coach Kevin Dana with Pac-12 Networks. Speaking of fighting back, I was curious about kind of what you took away from your experience in a Muay Thai fight and how you think that can make you a better coach this year. And then for Leilani and Dalayah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw the pictures. It looked like the team was there to watch the fight. What was it like watching your coach fighting a match like that and go through that experience?
It was a great experience. We're so proud of her and everything that she was able to accomplish within that match. We just knew that we had to show up for her just like she showed up for us these past 2 seasons and the year with the pandemic. We know it was hard, but she was there for us every day, and we knew that we had to come out and support her.
I've learned a lot from that experience, and part of it was being able to show them that as they said, like, I never want to tell them to do something I'm not willing to do myself, right? And so that's getting outside of my comfort zone, doing something that's really scary, working at a craft, trying to get, better at something. And, there was a time in training with Muay Thai where my kicks weren't great, I didn't have the endurance, and I continued to get better. And so there are times when people come into our program, left hand's not that great, whatever, they have things they need to work on. And I know that if you put the time in, you can continue to get better. And I can speak to those lessons, not something that I experienced 20 years ago when I was playing on the other side, but, just 2 weeks ago, right? Continuing to show the commitment to being better, I think sets a good example for them. And I'm proud of that. And then, the way that they have to push through tough times, right? I can also hold them to that standard, like, oh, no, I know you think you're tired, but I also know my coach pushes me when I'm tired, I remember that too. I remember what it's like to be a player now and to be sucking air and getting beat up, right? And so I'm like, it's not an excuse. You got to push through. I push through. It's your turn to push through too. So kind of works both ways and was a really healthy experience for me and definitely makes me a better coach.
Do you think you have more Muay Thai fights in your career?
So Kylan told me after the fight, Coach, Charmin, we think you need to do it again. I made up my mind that it was the first and the last going into it. I think had I won, I'd probably ride off to the sunset like, yay. Or had I really gotten demolished, I'd be like, all right, enough messing around. But I was extremely competitive, and it was a good fight against someone who had more experience than me. And I'm kind of stuck. I don't know how to walk away right now. But we'll see. Right now the focus is on this team and this season. And there are lessons, from Muay Thai that will play into that. But it's not about my fight anymore. It's all their fight.
I just want to reemphasize that she did amazing in that match. We was all there. It was great.
Thank you.
Charmin, I want to ask you about keeping the faith and how much work you had to do over this offseason. We all know the transfer portal is an active place, and you guys had a rough year. How many conversations and how much convincing did you feel like you needed to do with your group of players about keeping the faith and convincing them that it was going to be better this year than it was last year?
Yeah, so I don't know how many conversations they had amongst, each other. I know in the locker room in Vegas, the Pac-12 tournament, as you start going your separate ways, we're going to give them 2 weeks off. I made sure to say, you guys, most important thing is that we stay connected, right? Because I was like, we have to stay connected. And I don't remember a time in which I had to try to convince anyone. I don't want to try to convince someone to be on the women's basketball team at Cal. This is a phenomenal group of people. We have a great coaching staff at an amazing institution, right? I say we get to be here. We get to be a part of this family. And there were times when someone would text me and say, hey, Coach, can we talk? And of course, I'd be like, stomach drop, oh, what's coming? And it was never that. It was never that. It was, hey, I'd like to go home and, see a relative, or I'd like to do this, I'd like to do that. And I'm thankful for that. I really appreciate the fact that they are sticking with it and they have my back the same way that I have their back. And this is a tight group that I think has a lot of wins in their future.
Charmin, Chukni to win with the LA Times. Is this working? Yeah. What's it like having your former boss, Lindsay Gottlieb, back in the conference? And what do you think she brings to this conference now after the experience she had in the NBA to strengthen what's already an elite basketball conference?
Yeah, it's great having my friend back. I'll start by saying that. Lindsay and I are really tight. I'm extremely happy for her to have this opportunity. I think USC made a really wise choice. I know she'll do well. In terms of what she's bringing to their program and such, I think she's a really good coach. I'm just kind of focused in on our team and what we have to try to do, but I am really happy for my friend.
Cheryl Coward, hoopfeet.com. Looking forward to your schedule, ahead to your schedule. You get to play at the Chase Center, or you'll be the second women's basketball team after the third after USC and Stanford and USF and Stanford in 2019. What does it mean to you to be able to play on that floor, and are you excited about playing on the Warriors court for the players?
Yeah, I think I'm super excited. I've never played at the Chase Center, so that'll be a cool experience for me, as I'm sure it will be for the rest of my teammates.
In high school, I got to play on the Phoenix Suns arena, so I think that was just a cool experience in itself. And I'm a big Warriors fan, so I'm very excited.
I think it'll be fun. I hope that we get some fans that maybe haven't seen us over in the East Bay come out and see a great game, and then want to come and see more of us in Haas Pavilion. So look forward to the opportunity.
This is for all three of you, but I would like Coach to start Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Network, play-by-play voice. For people who haven't seen Cal basketball play in a while, what are they missing?
Starting with me, you said. I think they are missing a team full of passion and energy that plays for one another, that plays with a ton of heart, that pushes through and never says quit. And I think when you have that type of effort, regardless of the outcome, it's something worth watching. And because of us getting the healthy bodies and getting the experience, I think the outcomes will be favorable as well.
Charmin, I want to ask you, your alma mater won a national championship last spring. Just wanted to kind of find out what your reaction was. Were you there as part of the alumni group? And just what you said to Tara after that.
Yeah, I was there. And I was right next to Amy Tucker and Heather Owen, kind of front rowing it in my Pac-12 shirt. Don't worry. You know, and I, that weekend leading up to it, before the semifinal game, I was like, let me just buy a flight. Like, I'm going to have FOMO, you know, if I'm not there. And then they won, and then I was like, and then Adia won. And I was like, well, it's a Pac-12 showdown. Like, I got to go, you know. I was extremely happy for Tara, for my alma mater, right? And two things I'll share. You know, first in being there and just sitting watching, right? And even though it wasn't the crowd that it usually is for the Final Four and all that, like that feeling, like I want you guys to feel that. And I was sitting there and I said, I actually posted on Instagram with the confetti coming down and I said, I want this. And not being afraid to like put it out there, right? I mean, Tara has 1,000 something, whatever wins, you know? I have a very small percentage of that, right? But I want the confetti and I believe that we can get there. And I want them to experience that moment. You know, and we've got some steps to take, right? Let's handle our non-conference schedule. Let's chip our way up to the top of this conference so we can get some confetti in Vegas first. And then, you know, I know that there are steps, but I think as a coach, if you never speak about those moments or never dream about those moments, then you'll never have those moments. So I'm glad that I was there to be able to feel it and be able to bring it back to the group and say, like, this is why we're doing all of this work, right? So I'll stop there. I won't share the second thing. That was long. It was.
All right, on that note,
And
last one.
So I'm going to ask a separate question, just a second note, that you didn't answer.
So it's a different question.
yeah.
She got you.
Second note's a little different, just from a player's perspective, right? We all want that, right? And I went to the celebration afterwards, you know. Amy was like, here, Charmin, here's your little ticket, whatever, come on through. And, you know, it's my alma mater, so, but I hang out in the back because I am a Cal coach, right? And, you know, Cam came up to me, said some nice things. It's a great relationship with people there and just congratulating them. And then I see NECA and Shanae taking pictures with Kiana Williams. And Kiana has the net around her neck next to the Agumakays. And they're like taking the selfies with Kiana, da-da-da. And I thought to myself, not everyone gets a ring. I mean, you think about that picture. And I actually texted Jamila Weidman and Milena Flores, and I was like, dude, it's okay, we don't have a ring. The Agumakays don't either. They're sitting here, you know, so it puts some perspective on it as well. And you were in that locker room when we didn't get that ring, right? And it's just like, as much as I want to say I want it, I want that, we are going for that. Also having that perspective in the same evening to be like, there's no guarantees, and you do everything that you can, and then you celebrate the relationships and the sisterhood, because ultimately that's the thing that you can control.
Dalayah, Leilani, Charmin, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.